I am Linda Bucher, and I am a Master Certified Life Coach. I am a mentor to new coaches and solopreneurs in the healing arts. I am a public speaker, and I am an author. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can head on over to my website, which is lindabucher.com. It's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so to today's topic, 4 strategies for dealing with nasty people. So let's talk about some situational examples, right? I've got 3 teenagers. Maybe you have some teenagers, and maybe sometimes those teenagers come down with a case of the nasties, right? Maybe they're not so nice to you. Maybe they're belligerent. They talk back. They swear sometimes. They do. Okay. Or maybe you have a judgmental person in your life. Sometimes my clients report that they have judgmental siblings or parents, or even a friend who seems very judgmental, right? Maybe that's the case for you. Maybe, you are a younger person and you deal with put downs, right? So this is not just for people who have teenagers, right? Maybe there's, some put downs that you've had to deal with in your life, and maybe they're still coming, right? Or maybe you've put a post out on Facebook all like, woohoo, and you got some nasty comment back, right? So what happens when those situations are around? Well, your first natural response is usually to get defensive, right? And then when defensiveness is it's like not a powerful place to be. Maybe you're hurling insults right back, right? Of course, you already know that that's not like rising above, which would be nice, wouldn't it? If you could rise above, not so easy, right? Or maybe you just leave or just withdraw from that person. Or maybe you end up crying, right? Being really sad and upset. Well, those are natural responses, but those responses can leave you feeling resentful, angry, or ashamed. So what I want to do is I want to explain to you the causes of insult flinging, right? The person who is flinging the insults. Here's probably what's going on, because if you have a better understanding of what's going on, maybe you could be a little bit more compassionate for the other person. I know you so didn't know I was going there, right? That's where I'm going. Okay, so here's some causes. Fear. If that other person is feeling fear of the unknown, fear of the future, fear of abandonment, so many fears we're dealing with as human beings, right? That can manifest in insults and judgments and criticisms. Maybe that person is really mad at themselves, but their sense of self maybe their sense of self is a little too fragile for them to actually be mad at themselves. They really can't take it. So it's easier for them to project that anger out. Maybe this is a person who doesn't actually know how to process emotions in a healthy way. So it just comes out as venom and insults. And maybe the other person is actually feeling shameful on the inside. So that's almost always the case. So I want you to maybe just consider the person flinging the insults and what they might be dealing with. But here's some truth for you. First of all, you cannot control other people's actions or their words. Okay? Whether if you decide to get defensive or decide to hurl some insults back at them, or you decide to shut them out, it's still not going to change how they feel or how they're acting, because you really don't have any control of that. See, what's happening is they are reacting to their perception of the world. Now, I have this vision. I mix metaphors all the time, so forgive me. But I have this vision in my head about how us human beings are really walking around. Like we, look all like, oh, nice dress, good earrings, right? But how we're really walking around is we're wearing fear boots, okay? Now, some people's boots are just like ankle high, and then some come all the way up to their neck, right? Fear boots. Some people are so afraid, and some people are not so afraid, but we all have some fears sometimes. So the person you're talking to and you're all wearing fear boots. But that's not the end of your outfit. What else you got on is you got lenses. Like pretend you're wearing glasses, right? These lenses. There's a whole bunch. There's not just one. And these lenses are your past experience and your past perceptions. Your perceptions of how you perceive the world based on what has happened to you and what you are capable of doing with that, processing it when that happened. So you've got all these lenses, and some of them are cracked, and some of them are discolored, and some of them are all full of schmutz. So you can only see through these lenses to see what you see in the world of what's happening. So this is how you're perceiving the person who is spewing insults at you, and this is how this person is perceiving the world through their own lenses and wearing their own fear boots, okay? Okay, but here's the good news. The good news is you do not have to defend yourself when someone is hurling insults at you. I want you to think about this. Like one time I was in the zoo and there was this gorilla. I think his name was Samson. This is years ago. It's a Buffalo Zoo. And he used to pick up his poo and fling it. And I want you to not keep that in mind, but I want you to think about this. When someone is hurling insults at you, that's just what they're doing, okay? And guess what? It's not your shit. Here are 4 strategies for dealing with nasty people when they start flinging poo at you. First, here, you can have an argument with a human, but you know, if you try to have an argument with reality, you're always gonna lose. So stop arguing with reality. Okay? The reality is the person is judging you, criticizing you, flinging poo. Okay? That's the reality. So if you can just accept that this is actually happening and stop getting all righteous, this shouldn't be happening, they shouldn't be doing it, right? Because it's just arguing with reality. So just try to accept the reality because it's going to help you deal with the poo. If you're just arguing the fact that there shouldn't be poo, that's not a way to really deal with poo. Okay. Number 2, remember I said, people are standing in their own fear boots and they are seeing the world through all their lenses of their past experiences. Okay. And from that, basically most of the way they see things and the way they judge you is just based in the judgments they have for themselves. And this can help you be a little bit more compassionate. If you imagine that you could hold the mirror in front of that person because they're really talking to themselves, not really so much you, you can also have a little bit more compassion for them. It's not about you. It's not about you. Number 3, third strategy. Set a loving boundary and enforce it. Now, there's that arms folded, you suck, I'm not going to talk to you when you're insulting me. That's not a loving boundary, right? A loving boundary is, wow, this person's got a whole lot of poo. Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I don't really want it and it's not mine. So I'm going to maybe have a little bit of compassion for that person, but that doesn't mean I have to stick around and, be in the way and get hit by it, right? So you set a loving boundary. When you fling poo, I choose to give you some space and give me some space. And that feels a lot better than I'm out of here, okay? All right, and the 4th strategy, and this is one of my favorites, is to become a master shit dodger. Okay, and that goes like this. I learned this from a friend, Joelle Norwood, if you're watching, hello. In the woods in Keystone, Colorado, we did this hysterically. But I have showed so many clients this, and it's very, you're just going to remember this. It's very fun. So there's a pose. You can be standing up. I'm sitting right now, but you can be standing up. This is the pose, okay? And this is just metaphorical. Although if you really want to actually do this, go right ahead. And when someone is flinging poo at you, you just don't have to catch it. You don't even have to deflect it. Wonder Woman, boom, boom, armbands, right? You don't have to do that. It's not about that. It's not your poo. All you got to do is turn. Not my shit. Let it go by. Not my shit. Let it go by. Woo! Duck. Let it go by. Just let it go by you. It doesn't need to land on you. You don't have to catch it, and you don't have to throw it back. So that's one of my favorite strategies, okay? Become a master shit dodger. So when the shit hits the fan, you are going to become a shit dodging ninja. That is my challenge to you. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, please like it. Please comment. Please share it, right? Because wouldn't it be great if everybody knew how to be a shit dodging ninja? Woo, right? So this is Linda Bucher signing off. Have a great day.